Bill's New Frock by Anne Fine, Chapter 3. Pink, pink, and nothing but pink. After break it was art. Everyone helped to unfold the large plastic sheets and lay them over the tabletops and spread old newspapers over them. Then Mrs. Collins sent Leela into the dark cupboard at the back of the classroom to see what was left in the art supplies box. Are there any coloured chalks left? No, they're all gone. Pastels then. They're still too damp to use after the roof leaked. What about clay? It's all dried up. There must be crayons. Every class has crayons. The infants came and borrowed ours last week and they haven't brought them back yet. Right then, it'll just have to be paint, as usual. So Leela dragged the heavy cupboard box full of paint tubs out of the cupboard and everyone crowded round to choose their colours. Here's a pink. What's that one? Pink. More pink. Pink. I found some blue. Oh, no, I haven't. It's empty. I thought I'd found some green, but it's dried up. There's no white. There's never any white. We haven't had any white for years and years. There's some pink here. This one's pink. Pink, pink. Nothing but pink, miss. Everyone stood up disappointed. Kirsty voiced everyone's disgust. What can you do with pink? She demanded. You can't paint pink dogs or pink cats or pink cows or pink grass or pink space vehicles or pink trees or pink battlefields, can you? If you can only find one colour, it's difficult enough. But if you've only got pink, it's practically impossible. What is there in the world that's all pink? Yeah, what's all pink, miss? Everyone gazed around the room looking for something that was all pink so that they could paint it. Some of them stared at the pictures and posters pinned onto the classroom walls. Others gazed out of the window, across the playground, to the street and to the shops. One or two of them glanced at one another. And Kirsty looked at Bill. No, no, Bill said. No, no, not me. Absolutely not. You cannot. Then everyone turned to look at Bill. No, Bill insisted. I'm not all pink. Now Mrs. Collins too was inspecting Bill closely. Pink frock, she admitted slowly. Fiery hair, rich rosy freckles, and a nice deep blush. Yes, you'll do beautifully, dear. You're all pink. I'm not pink. But he was getting pinker by the minute. And by the time everyone had wandered back to their seats clutching their little plastic tubs of paint, you wouldn't have needed any other colour to do a really fine portrait of Bill. Perfect, said Mrs. Collins. And taking Bill Simpson firmly by the hand, she tried to lead him over to where there was a chair sat in the middle of the room, where everyone would be able to see him clearly whilst they were painting him. Bill tried to pull back. Mrs. Collins turned in astonishment at his unwillingness and let go of his hand quite suddenly. Bill staggered back, straight into Nick, who had just prized the top off of his paint tub. A huge glob of pink paint flew up into the air and landed on Bill Simpson's frock. As everyone watched, it gathered itself, all fat and heavy at the bottom. Then slowly it slid down between the folds of material, leaving a thick pink slug trail. Bill Simpson watched in silence as a small pool of pink paint appeared on the floor beside his left foot. Grubby fingerprints round the hem, a huge muddy splodge in the middle of the front, and a great slimy pink smear down the side. Whatever next? Mrs. Collins inspected the damage and shrugged. Well, never mind, she said. It's only poster paint. I'm sure the frock will wash out beautifully. And once again, she took his hand. There was no fight left in Bill Simpson. Meekly, he allowed himself to be led to the middle of the room. Mrs. Collins arranged him neatly and comfortably on a little wooden chair. There, she said triumphantly, placing a cherry-coloured exercise book in one of his hands as a last touch. All pink. She stepped back to admire her handiwork. Perfect, she said again. Now, is everybody happy? Bill Simpson could have tried to say something then, but he didn't bother. He reckoned there was no point. He knew that whatever he said, whatever he did, this awful day would just keep sailing on its own way, as if in a dream. A curse was on him, a pink curse. He was, of all things, haunted by a pretty pink frock with fiddly shell buttons. He might as well have given up struggling. Like poor Rapunzel trapped in her high stone tower, he just sat quietly waiting to see what happened, hoping for rescue. Meanwhile, the rest of the class had begun to complain. We've only got pink paint to paint with. How are we supposed to do that great big football-shaped smudge on the front of the frock? It's brown. I can't paint all those grubby little fingerprints right round the hem of the dress because they're all grey. Those shell buttons are a bit fiddly to paint. I've done far too many freckles. What shall I do? Wait till they're